When most people hear the word intelligence, they picture someone who's quick with numbers, sharp with memory, or unbeatable in a debate. But the Sigma male's intelligence runs on an entirely different wavelength. It's not about how much he knows, it's about how deeply he sees. His brilliance hides in perception, in control, and in the way he understands human nature before anyone else even realizes what's happening. He doesn't play by the world's rules. He doesn't need to show off or prove he's the smartest man in the room. Instead, he operates in silence, watching, reading, calculating. While everyone else is distracted by surface noise, the Sigma male is already 5 steps ahead, quietly connecting dots others didn't even notice. And that's what unsettles people the most. His ability to read a room like it's an open book. He doesn't just hear what you say, he reads the intent behind it. That kind of perception makes people nervous because it feels like he can see straight through them. Even more unsettling, he rarely shows the full depth of his intelligence. He doesn't argue. He doesn't flex. He stores what he knows, and when the moment demands it, he moves with precision that leaves everyone stunned. By the time others realize what's happening, he's already shifted the entire game in his favor. That calm, surgical brilliance is what separates him from everyone else, and it's what makes him dangerous in silence. And if you think that sounds exaggerated, look at some of the greats, men like Kobe Bryant or Cristiano Ronaldo. They weren't just talented. They were obsessed with reading the game, seeing angles, anticipating moves, and understanding people better than anyone on the field. Kobe once said, "The most important thing is to try and inspire people so that they can be great in whatever they want to do." That's Sigma intelligence in action, not loud, not boastful, just deliberate mastery. So, let me ask you this. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly sensed what others were thinking before a single word was spoken? Have you ever felt like you can predict people's moves, not because you're guessing, but because you just know? If so, you're not overthinking, you're operating on Sigma frequency. This video breaks down 6 reasons why the intelligence of a Sigma male can be so intimidating, revealing how his mind works, why people react so strongly to him, and why his quiet intellect often feels more powerful than the loudest voices in the room. Reason number 1. Learns fast and adapts faster. Another thing that unsettles people about the Sigma male is his lightning-fast ability to learn and adapt. Most need guidance, repetition, or trial and error before they adjust. The Sigma, on the other hand, observes once, processes instantly, and applies effortlessly. His mind is like a living algorithm, absorbing, refining, and optimizing everything he encounters. Whether it's mastering a new skill, reading a complex social dynamic, or facing a personal challenge, he adapts with uncanny speed. He doesn't waste time repeating mistakes. He extracts the lesson and moves forward. This ability to pivot quickly makes him unpredictable. Just when people think they've figured him out, he shifts his strategy. He doesn't cling to routines or patterns. He evolves constantly, and in a world where most people stay stuck in habits, that flexibility gives him a massive edge. In competitive or professional environments, this can be deeply intimidating. People spend years honing their expertise, only to watch a Sigma catch up in a fraction of the time. It's not arrogance, it's focus. He filters out distractions, zeroes in on what matters, and learns with purpose. What makes this even more unnerving is the quiet way he does it. There's no announcement, no bragging, no visible grind. People only realize how much he's grown when he demonstrates it effortlessly, and by then, he's already leveled up. That silent, invisible growth creates tension because it proves one thing. You can never predict where he'll be tomorrow just by looking at where he stands today. The truth is, the Sigma male doesn't merely survive in changing environments. He thrives in them. And in a world terrified of change, that kind of adaptability makes him a force no one can contain. Reason number 2. Silence is his weapon. In a world where most people talk endlessly to prove their worth, the Sigma male does the opposite. He uses silence not as absence but as power. He doesn't rush to fill every pause or explain every thought. He simply listens. And that silence, makes people uneasy. When he says nothing, others begin to fill the void with their own insecurities, their own assumptions. They start over-explaining, overreacting, revealing more than they ever intended. The less he speaks, the more control he gains. In arguments, his silence forces others to expose their weaknesses. In negotiations, it builds tension, pushing people to show their cards first. In relationships, it creates a mysterious pull, a sense of depth that makes him impossible to fully read. People are drawn to it and intimidated by it at the same time. Because silence from a Sigma isn't passive, it's deliberate. He knows exactly what it does. He doesn't have to dominate a room with noise. His quiet presence speaks volumes. While others scramble for attention, he's observing. While they talk to impress, he's listening to understand. And by the time they realize how much he's learned from saying so little, it's already too late. Reason number 3. Keeps people close, yet distant. One of the most mystifying and intimidating traits of Sigma intelligence is how he manages connection. He knows how to draw people in, to make them feel seen, valued, and understood. His energy is magnetic. It makes others feel like they're standing in the presence of someone who gets them. And yet, there's always a distance, a subtle wall that no one can quite climb. He keeps people close enough to feel his presence, but never close enough to truly touch his inner world. This balance between warmth and distance creates a tension that's both alluring and unsettling. People find themselves drawn to him, but also uncertain. They wonder where they really stand. Are they close, or are they just standing at the edge of something they'll never reach? That mystery keeps them intrigued and a little afraid. It's not manipulation, it's protection. The Sigma male guards his inner space fiercely. He decides how far someone can enter and never lets them go beyond that line. What makes this so unnerving is how effortlessly he maintains it. He can make you feel like the center of his attention one moment and detach without hesitation the next. No drama, no chaos, just quiet distance. That emotional self-sufficiency makes people realize something they often try to ignore. He doesn't need anyone to define him. And that independence, calm, grounded, and unbothered, is what truly makes him impossible to control. People are instinctively drawn to him, yet no one ever truly possesses him. That quiet independence, even within the most intimate relationships, makes others realize something uncomfortable. They never really had the control they thought they did. It's a revelation that unsettles many, especially in a world where emotional dependence is often mistaken for love. But the Sigma male doesn't play by that rule. He breaks it completely. He knows how to care deeply without losing his identity in the process. He can connect with genuine emotion, yet never become trapped in attachment. That rare blend of closeness and distance keeps people perpetually off balance, drawn to his presence, but disoriented by his freedom. They crave more of him, yet can never quite grasp him. To those who need certainty or control, this is deeply unnerving. They can't predict him. They can't sway him. They can't secure his loyalty in the way they expect. Because at the end of the day, he belongs to himself first, and that truth alone makes his intelligence, and the way he loves, both magnetic and intimidating. Reason number 4. He predicts behavior before it happens. A Sigma male has a rare ability to read people, not through guessing or assumption, but through observation. He sees micro-expressions, tone shifts, and energy changes that most people overlook. Where others hear only words, he listens to silence, to what's not being said. Every small detail becomes a piece of a larger puzzle. And when the pieces fit, he often knows exactly what someone will do before they do it. Imagine sitting across from someone who already knows your reaction before you've even spoken. That's what it feels like dealing with a Sigma male. He doesn't need to test or interrogate you. His observation alone reveals more than your words ever could. This ability unsettles people because it takes away their sense of privacy. They feel seen even when they've said nothing at all. And it doesn't stop at individuals. Sigmas can read entire environments. In a workplace, he senses where conflict is brewing long before it erupts. In a group, he notices alliances forming before anyone admits them. In relationships, he detects emotional shifts before words catch up. To most people, this looks like intuition, but to him, it's the result of precise awareness, the art of noticing everything. The frightening part isn't just that he sees what others miss, it's that he acts on it. By predicting behavior, he positions himself ahead of the curve. While others are reacting, he's already executing. That gives him an advantage that feels almost unfair, like he's playing chess while everyone else is still learning checkers. And that quiet, predictive intelligence is one of the most intimidating weapons in his mental arsenal. Reason number 5. High self-awareness and emotional control. The Sigma male's perception doesn't just turn outward, it turns inward too. He studies himself just as sharply as he studies others. This level of self-awareness is rare, and to many it's intimidating because it makes him nearly impossible to manipulate. While most people are easily swayed by flattery, guilt, or emotional pressure, he sees through those tactics instantly. He understands his own triggers, weaknesses, and emotions so clearly that they never steer him off course. His mind doesn't get hijacked by impulse. When someone tries to provoke him, he doesn't lash out. When someone tries to flatter him, he doesn't lose perspective. And when someone attempts emotional pressure, he simply takes a calm step back. Detached, composed, unreadable. That emotional discipline frustrates and intimidates those who rely on control. They can't shake him, can't guilt him, can't bend him. His inner balance makes him a far more effective decision maker than most, because he never lets excitement cloud his judgment or fear freeze his movement. He sees every situation through a lens of clarity, free from the emotional fog that blinds so many others. People sense this steadiness around him, and it quietly unnerves them. They realize they can't push him anywhere he doesn't already want to go. And that's where his power lies. Emotional control gives the Sigma male a silent authority, the kind that doesn't demand attention but naturally commands it. Even in tense, high-stakes moments, his calm presence changes the entire energy of the room. While others lose their cool, he remains unshaken. And that contrast exposes just how emotionally fragile most people really are. Because when you're standing face to face with someone who cannot be rattled, it's almost impossible not to feel vulnerable. Reason number 6. Unshaken values and convictions. One of the most striking and unsettling parts of a Sigma male's intelligence is his ability to build, protect, and live by his own unbreakable code of values. While most people bend under trends, peer pressure, or the weight of authority, he stands immovable. For him, intelligence isn't just about knowledge or clever strategy, it's about clarity of belief. Once he has decided what aligns with his truth, no amount of criticism or persuasion will move him. In a world obsessed with conformity, that kind of inner solidity stands out like a beacon, and it often creates friction. When others shift their opinions just to fit in, he stays anchored. When people stay silent to avoid conflict, he speaks up with calm confidence. And that quiet conviction? It intimidates people because it highlights their own instability. It forces them to confront a painful reality. How easily they bend compared to someone who simply refuses to. The frightening part is that his intelligence strengthens this independence. He doesn't follow beliefs blindly. He tests them, challenges them, refines them until every value he holds has been earned, not inherited. He knows exactly why he stands where he stands, and that makes him nearly impossible to manipulate through fear, guilt, or promises of reward. To those who thrive on control, this is deeply frustrating. They can't play their usual games. His integrity dismantles their strategies before they even begin. His unshakable values act like a mirror, forcing others to see just how often they've compromised their own. And that reflection can be uncomfortable, even haunting. It's one of the biggest reasons Sigma intelligence feels so intimidating, because it doesn't just hold its ground, it exposes the weakness in everyone else's. The Sigma male doesn't use noise to make his presence known. He doesn't boast about his mind or chase validation for his intellect. Instead, His brilliance moves quietly, almost invisibly. A subtle undercurrent that people sense only when it's too late to ignore. He can read people long before they reveal themselves, predicting behavior with uncanny precision, leaving others both intrigued and exposed. He wields silence like a weapon, creating pressure without uttering a single word. His self-awareness shields him from manipulation, and his emotional control keeps him steps ahead of anyone trying to unsettle him. His ability to learn, adapt, and evolve gives him an edge, while his balance between connection and distance leaves others captivated, yet uncertain of where they stand. And his unshakable values? They force people to question not just him, but themselves. This rare combination forms something greater than intelligence. It becomes power. Power over his emotions. Power in how he moves through relationships. Power in how he navigates the world itself. And because he channels that power quietly, without ego, without noise, it carries even more weight than the loudest form of confidence. For him, intelligence isn't a show. It's a state of being calm, deliberate, and razor-sharp. That's what makes him unforgettable. Not because he demands attention, but because his presence commands it. If this resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Epic Persona, where we dive deep into the psychology of quiet strength, presence, and personal mastery.